Welcome to this life-changing journey. You've just stepped into a space of transformation where the deepest truths about your life and purpose are about to unfold. You are here because something within you feels the pull. Something inside knows there's more to this life, that there's a unique path waiting for you. A path that could lead to untapped potential, uncharted success, and a life filled with meaning. And this, right now, is the beginning of Decoding Your Destiny. In a world of noise, distraction, and endless comparison, it's easy to forget who you really are. It's easy to feel lost in the shuffle, to wonder if your purpose is hidden, or if your dreams are just out of reach. But the truth is, the key to everything you desire, success, fulfillment, joy, and inner peace, is already within you. What if I told you that the reason you haven't unlocked your fullest potential isn't because you're missing something, but because you haven't learned to decode the messages already around you? Every moment, every experience, and every challenge holds hidden clues about your destiny. But here's the catch. You've been led to believe that your destiny is something random, something that just happens to you, that you're simply playing a role in someone else's story. This is a lie. Redefining destiny. It's not fate, it's power. Destiny is not a predetermined script written for you by some external force. It's not something set in stone or sealed in the stars. It is power. A power you already possess, waiting for you to awaken to it. Destiny isn't about fate. It's about freedom, choice, and alignment. You have the ability to influence, shape, and create your destiny by tuning into the subtle forces that already exist within you and around you. But this requires a shift in perspective, a shift that turns you from a passive observer of life into an active creator of your future. You are not just a victim of circumstance. Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions directly impact the path that unfolds before you. The sooner you understand that you hold the pen to your own story, the sooner you will realize that you have the power to change everything. Every dream, every goal, every vision you've ever had is a possibility waiting to be brought into reality. But first, you must recognize the truth. Your destiny is not something that is given to you. It is something you create. This is your invitation to decode the mysteries of your life. It's not about waiting for the stars to align or for someone else to give you permission. It's about taking responsibility for the path you walk and realizing that you are the key to unlocking the life you've always dreamed of. This audiobook is not just a guide. It is a call to action, to step into your power and start living life on your own terms. How to use this audiobook: active listening, reflection, and action. To make the most of this audiobook, you must be an active participant in your transformation. This is not a passive experience where you simply listen and absorb information. This is about engaging with every word, reflecting on its meaning, and most importantly, taking action. The information I'm about to share with you is not just knowledge, it's a catalyst for change. As you listen, ask yourself, how does this apply to my life? What can I do differently today? Think of this as an interactive experience. Take notes, reflect, and most importantly, act on the insights you receive. The more you engage, the faster you will begin to see real shifts in your life. The journey to decoding your destiny is not just about learning. It's about transformation, and transformation demands action. The process of decoding your destiny isn't about passively waiting for a sign or for things to magically happen. It's about embracing the power within you, actively deciding to take steps toward the life you want to create, and doing so with courage, clarity, and commitment. Each chapter will challenge you to look deeper, reflect more honestly, and take immediate action on the insights you uncover. You are the architect of your destiny, and this audiobook is your blueprint. The promise. You are more powerful than you've been led to believe. I want to make one thing abundantly clear. You are more powerful than you have ever been led to believe. You're not limited by your circumstances, your past, or any of the stories you've been told about who you are. The world has conditioned you to believe that your potential is finite, that you are confined by invisible walls. But this is a lie. You hold within you a boundless well of untapped power, creativity, resilience, intuition, and the ability to manifest your desires. It's all there, waiting for you to acknowledge it. But you must believe it. You must take the first step and acknowledge that you are worthy of your dreams and capable of achieving them. This journey is about shifting your mindset, changing the way you see yourself and the world around you, and waking up to the extraordinary power that has always been inside you. You are capable of achieving far more than you ever thought possible. Right now, you may be facing challenges, doubts, or fears, but none of that negates your power. In fact, those very challenges are opportunities in disguise. Every obstacle you face is a lesson waiting to be learned, a stepping stone on your path to greatness. So, I ask you to put aside any limiting beliefs that might be holding you back and open yourself to the possibility of transformation. You are ready. The time is now. You may have been told that achieving your dreams requires more time, more resources, or more luck. But I am telling you that you already have everything you need. Your inner power, your intuition, and your unique gifts are more than enough to create the life you desire. The world is waiting for you to step into your purpose and claim what is rightfully yours. This is your moment. Don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect conditions. Start now. As you embark on this journey of decoding your destiny, remember this: you are not alone. The universe is conspiring in your favor, waiting for you to take that first step, and it is always there to guide you. But the real magic happens when you believe in yourself, when you trust that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that your dreams are already on their way to becoming your reality. Chapter 1: The Soul's Blueprint: Rediscovering Your Unique Design. When you first arrived in this world, you were not a blank slate waiting to be written upon. You were already a living manuscript. Your soul carried a specific blueprint, an intricate, intentional design that held the seeds of your deepest truths, talents, and purpose. Before you were taught the languages of should and must, before the world told you what success or worthiness looked like, you knew in an unspoken way who you were. You responded to life with instinct, with wonder, with a knowing that defied words. It might be hard to recall now after years of cultural conditioning and life experiences that layered complexity upon simplicity, but the truth remains untouched beneath it all. Your journey is not about inventing who you are. It is about rediscovering what has been inside you from the very beginning. To uncover your blueprint is to remember that there is a sacred order within you that no mistake, no detour, no pain could ever erase. Every thread of your being, your passions, your quirks, your wounds, your dreams, was woven with purpose. The sooner you recognize that, the sooner you reclaim the power that is inherently yours. Think back to the earliest moments of your life, the purest moments of curiosity and engagement. What did you gravitate towards before you knew what was considered impressive or acceptable? Perhaps you were the child who loved to build towers and tear them down just to see how structures worked. Or maybe you were the storyteller, weaving elaborate tales with a cast of invisible friends. Maybe you had a tender heart, reaching out instinctively to anyone who seemed sad or lonely. Or maybe you marveled at the mysteries of nature, losing yourself in the dance of a butterfly or the patterns of the stars. These early fascinations were not random. They were echoes of your design. They were the whispers of your destiny, making itself known to you before you had the words to name it. In truth, your soul was speaking to you in every moment of awe, every instinct of wonder, and every burst of passion. These were breadcrumbs left for you to find later, a trail that would lead you back to yourself when the world's noise became too loud. Yet, life has a way of layering over that original knowing with the heavy coats of expectation and fear. We are praised for fitting in, for making safe choices, for doing what is practical instead of what is purposeful. And so, piece by piece, many of us traded authenticity for approval. We wore masks to survive, not realizing that every mask moved us one step further from our blueprint. It's no wonder that so many people wake up one day feeling lost, disconnected from meaning, unsure of who they are or why they're here. The good news, the profound, liberating truth, is that your blueprint has not been lost. It has simply been waiting quietly beneath the noise. You can return to it at any time by choosing to listen, by daring to trust the small voice within that still remembers. This chapter is your invitation to begin that sacred process, not by striving harder, but by softening, by getting curious, by allowing yourself to believe that your deepest desires and natural tendencies are not coincidences. They are compass points. They are holy. Hidden clues from childhood and dreams. One of the most potent places to begin decoding your blueprint is by revisiting your childhood and your dreams, both the nocturnal kind and the daytime ones that persistently tug at your heart. Childhood is often romanticized or dismissed as a simpler time, but in truth, it holds profound insights into who we are when we are closest to our authentic nature. As children, we acted before we learned to second-guess ourselves. We followed joy instinctively. We cried when something hurt. We laughed without restraint. That purity is invaluable because it shows us the unfiltered version of ourselves. Look closely at your earliest memories. What brought you the most joy? What activities did you immerse yourself in so completely that you forgot the world around you? These are not idle curiosities. They are soul markers. Even the imaginary games you played, the characters you admired, and the heroes you emulated reveal important aspects of your design. Were you the explorer, the healer, the artist, the protector, the builder? Each of these archetypes carries within it a blueprint that often continues, albeit more subtly, into adulthood. The longing to explore might evolve into a passion for travel, innovation, or discovery. The inclination to heal could manifest through a career in counseling, medicine, or mentorship. These traits don't vanish, they morph. They wait for you to recognize and honor them again as an adult. To excavate these clues, it can be powerful to spend some time journaling freely about your happiest childhood moments, the ones where you felt completely at home in yourself. Don't dismiss anything as trivial. Often, the seemingly small memories are the ones carrying the largest truths. Beyond the memories of childhood, there are the dreams. Those vivid, sometimes bewildering messages that come to you when your conscious mind is at rest. Dreams are one of the few places where your subconscious and your soul can communicate without the filters of logic and societal programming. Have you noticed recurring symbols, places, or feelings in your dreams? Have you woken from a dream feeling an inexplicable pull toward a certain action or place? These are not to be ignored. Dreams operate in the language of metaphor and emotion, offering you guidance that bypasses the rational mind. In many ancient cultures, dreams were considered sacred messages from the divine, from the soul, from the deepest parts of the self that cannot be accessed through waking thought alone. In modern life, we often dismiss them as random, but you would be wise to pay attention. Keeping a dream journal, even just a few lines each morning, can help you begin to see patterns and receive guidance from your deeper knowing. Moreover, your waking dreams, the visions you hold for your future, the persistent callings you feel, but sometimes silence, are equally important. They are your soul's way of pointing you toward your path. If you have a dream that feels irrationally big, one that you sometimes judge yourself for even wanting, that's the one to look closer at. Your soul does not taunt you with dreams it has no intention of helping you fulfill. Instead, Your dreams are invitations into the version of yourself that already exists in potential, waiting for your choice and your belief to bring it into reality. Honoring your dreams, both sleeping and waking, is a profound act of self-respect. It is you saying to yourself, "I trust that there is more to me than what I have been conditioned to believe." Purpose over accident, trusting the inner compass. One of the most pervasive myths we encounter on the path to decoding our destiny is the myth of accident, the belief that life is random, that experiences are haphazard, that there is no deeper order or meaning. This myth is seductive because it relieves us of responsibility. If life is random, then why bother trying to make sense of it? Why dare to believe that you matter? Yet, this belief also robs us of agency. It strips life of its magic. It disconnects us from the truth that we are not just passive observers in our lives. We are powerful co-creators. Recognizing this is the turning point between living by default and living by design. When you start to see your life through the lens of purpose rather than accident, everything shifts. The challenges you faced are no longer meaningless hardships. They are soul-forging experiences. The passions you hold are no longer frivolous desires. They are signposts toward your calling. Even the so-called wrong turns, the jobs that didn't fulfill you, the relationships that broke your heart, the dreams that seemed to fail, were not detours from your destiny. They were essential chapters. They were the fire that refined you, the mirror that showed you what you truly value, the teacher that prepared you for what is yet to come. To live aligned with your soul's blueprint requires you to embrace this broader, wiser view of your life. It requires you to trust that nothing was wasted and that everything can be used. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending every experience was good. It means extracting meaning from every experience, even the painful ones. It means asking not, "Why did this happen to me?" but rather, "What is this trying to awaken within me?" That shift in question alone can change the entire trajectory of your life. The most profound tool you have for navigating this journey is your inner compass. This compass is built from your instincts, your intuition, your emotional responses, your bodily sensations, your deep knowing. It is always speaking to you, but it requires stillness and trust to hear. In a noisy world that prizes external validation, the inner compass can feel faint or easily doubted. That is why reclaiming your connection to it is so essential. It is not about seeking answers from outside yourself. It is about strengthening your ability to recognize the answers that have been within you all along. Every time you override a gut feeling to please someone else, every time you silence your intuition because it defies logic, you weaken the connection. Every time you honor that small voice, even in the tiniest of ways, you strengthen it. Like any muscle, your inner compass grows stronger the more you use it. Practically speaking, you can begin rebuilding your trust in your inner compass by starting small. Pay attention to how your body feels in different situations. Notice what expands you and what contracts you. Follow the pull toward joy, curiosity, and authenticity, even when it seems illogical or inconvenient. Practice making small decisions based on your inner knowing rather than external expectations. Over time, these small acts of alignment build into a life that feels not just successful by outer standards, but deeply right by inner ones. This is not about recklessness. It is about discernment. It is about recognizing that the deepest part of you, the soul blueprint that brought you here, already knows the way home. As we move forward, remember, you are not here to manufacture a destiny that pleases the world. You are here to uncover a destiny that satisfies your soul. You are not random. You are radiant. And every moment of trust, every moment of alignment, is a step closer to living the life you were designed for. The map is already within you. All you must do now is be willing to follow it. Chapter 2. Layers of Conditioning, the Subtle Machinery of Social Programming. From the moment you drew your first breath, You were welcomed not only into the arms of your caretakers, but also into the invisible architecture of a society that had already decided much about what your life should look like. Long before you formed your own conscious desires, the world around you was silently constructing a framework of expectations, limitations, and definitions of success and worth. It began with well-meaning instructions. Be a good boy. Be a nice girl. Say thank you. Don't be too loud. Don't dream too big. Layer by layer, word by word, these messages embedded themselves into your psyche, molding you toward a version of yourself that fit better within the existing order. None of this was inherently malicious. It was merely the way societies preserved themselves through the transmission of norms from one generation to the next. But what few people tell you is that the societal blueprint you were handed may not align with your soul's blueprint at all. And the friction you feel inside, the dissatisfaction, the yearning, the quiet rebellion, is not because you are broken or ungrateful. It is because your soul remembers freedom, even if your mind has been taught to forget. The mechanics of social conditioning are so subtle, so pervasive, that you rarely notice them happening. They are built into the stories you consume, the heroes you are taught to admire, the careers that are praised, and the dreams that are dismissed. They are reinforced through rewards when you conform and punishments, whether overt or subtle, when you dare to deviate. Over time, you internalize these patterns, and they become the silent operating system behind your decisions. You choose what feels right, not realizing that your sense of rightness has been artificially shaped. You doubt your own instincts, second-guess your passions, and measure your worth by standards you never consciously agreed to. The great tragedy is not just that you are limited by these layers of conditioning, but that you begin to believe they are you. To awaken from this spell requires extraordinary courage, the courage to question not only the world, but also yourself. It requires a willingness to look at every belief you hold about who you are and ask, did I choose this? Or was this chosen for me? Conditioning does not only shape what you pursue, it shapes what you allow yourself to even imagine. It operates like a dimmer switch on your soul's light, reducing the brilliance of your possibilities to a faint, manageable glow. You learn to dream smaller, to ask for less, to play it safe. You tell yourself it's wisdom, it's maturity, it's realism. But often, it's just fear wearing a socially acceptable mask. True wisdom is not about shrinking. It is about discerning the difference between fear and intuition, between conditioning and authentic choice. Recognizing the machinery of your conditioning is the first step in dismantling it. Once you see it for what it is, not a reflection of your inadequacy, but a byproduct of an environment designed to preserve itself, you can begin the sacred work of returning to the truth of who you are. This truth has never left you. It waits, patient and unyielding, beneath the rubble of shoulds and musts, ready for you to reclaim it. The silent saboteurs, fear, doubt, and approval seeking. If conditioning is the scaffolding that shapes your outer life, fear, doubt, and approval seeking are the hidden saboteurs that infiltrate your inner world. These forces are not external oppressors. They live within you, whispering from the shadows, masquerading as protectors. Fear tells you that risk is reckless. Doubt insists that you are not ready, not capable, not worthy. The need for approval seduces you into molding yourself into palatable shapes, prioritizing others' comfort over your own authenticity. Together, they form a trinity that quietly, persistently, pulls you away from your soul's blueprint, not through violence, but through the slow erosion of trust in yourself. Fear is perhaps the most primal of these saboteurs. In its highest form, fear is protective. It alerts you to real dangers, keeps you alive. But conditioned fear, the kind that warns you against speaking your truth, pursuing your dreams, or stepping outside the norm, is not about survival. It is about compliance. It is the fear of rejection, of failure, of being seen as foolish or inadequate. This fear keeps you small because it tells you that smallness is safety. But in truth, the only safety worth seeking is found in the alignment between your inner truth and your outer life. Anything less is not safety. It is self-abandonment. Doubt is fear's cunning cousin. It speaks not in shouts, but in subtle insinuations. What if you're not good enough? What if you try and fail? What if you're making a mistake? Doubt thrives in the spaces where you have been taught to value others' opinions over your own knowing. It disguises itself as prudence, as rationality, but its true purpose is paralysis. Doubt would rather you do nothing than risk the vulnerability of action. Yet, action is the lifeblood of destiny. Doubt does not dissipate through thinking alone. It dissipates through movement, through choosing to trust yourself even when your hands are trembling. Then there is approval seeking, perhaps the most insidious saboteur of all, because it wears the face of kindness, of connection. You seek approval because you want to belong, because you have been taught that belonging requires fitting in rather than standing out. You learn to measure your worth by the reactions of others, to curate yourself for acceptability. But approval gained at the cost of authenticity is hollow. True belonging, the kind that nourishes rather than depletes, can only be found when you bring your full, unedited self to the table. Approval seeking may win you acceptance, but only authenticity will bring you home to yourself. The work of dismantling these saboteurs is not about eradicating fear, doubt, or the desire for connection. It is about reclaiming the authority to choose which voices you listen to. It is about strengthening your inner authority until it becomes louder than any external judgment. This requires practice, patience, and compassion. You will falter. You will feel the pull of old patterns. But every time you choose authenticity over approval, action over paralysis, trust over fear, you reclaim another piece of yourself. You move one step closer to living in the power of your own design, unapologetic and free. Unmasking yourself, the path to freedom. To dismantle the layers of conditioning, you must first be willing to see the masks you wear. Masks are not inherently evil. Often, they were crafted out of necessity. The mask of the high achiever, the caretaker, the rebel, the peacemaker. They were survival strategies, ways to navigate a world that did not always honor your true self. But what once protected you can eventually imprison you. The tragedy of the mask is not only that it hides you from the world, it hides you from yourself. Over time, you forget where the mask ends and you begin. You mistake the role for the reality. And so, the first act of liberation is radical honesty. You must ask yourself, who am I performing for? Whose approval am I chasing? What part of me have I silenced in order to be accepted? This unmasking is not an act of violence against yourself. It is an act of reverence. It requires tenderness, the kind of tenderness you would offer to a child who had been told for years that they must be someone else in order to be loved. You do not rip off the mask with judgment or disgust. You peel it away with compassion, understanding that it was there for a reason, but also recognizing that you no longer need it to survive. You survived. Now it is time to live. Unmasking yourself means allowing yourself to be seen, not the polished, curated version, but the raw, imperfect, radiant being you truly are. It means risking disapproval, risking misunderstanding, for the sake of reclaiming your soul's integrity. Practically, unmasking can begin with small, courageous acts of truth-telling. It might mean admitting when you don't know something, instead of pretending competence. It might mean expressing a boundary instead of smiling through discomfort. It might mean sharing a dream you have kept hidden for fear of ridicule. Each act of honesty is a thread in the tapestry of your freedom. You don't have to tear down every false structure at once. It is enough to begin noticing when you are slipping into performance, to pause and to ask yourself, what would authenticity look like right now? Over time, these moments of choice accumulate. They rewire your nervous system away from fear and toward freedom. Unmasking is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong practice. Each new level of growth will reveal subtler masks, more sophisticated disguises. But with each unveiling, you will find that you breathe a little easier, laugh a little louder, love a little deeper. You will find that life itself becomes richer, more textured, more vibrant. Because when you live without a mask, you are not merely existing. You are embodying your destiny. You become a living testament to what is possible when a soul dares to remember itself. And in doing so, you light the way for others to do the same. Chapter 3. The Language of Destiny. Understanding signs, symbols, and synchronicities. Life has a language all its own, a subtle, intricate language that often goes unnoticed by those too busy or too fearful to listen. It's a language that speaks through the unseen, weaving patterns and signs into the very fabric of our daily experiences. We call these signs synchronicities, symbols, and messages from the universe, but in truth, they are simply the language of your soul. From a butterfly crossing your path at just the right moment to the unexpected quote in a book that speaks directly to your current struggle, these subtle cues are not mere coincidence. They are invitations, inviting you to align with something greater, something more profound, something closer to your true path. The challenge, however, is that most of us have forgotten how to interpret these signs. We see them, but we dismiss them as random. We sense them, but we second-guess their meaning. We long for the divine to speak to us in grand gestures, yet it whispers in the small moments, in the subtle coincidences, in the everyday encounters that seem to carry meaning just beneath the surface. The first step in unlocking the language of destiny is to open your mind and heart to the possibility that the universe is speaking to you all the time. Every experience, every person you meet, every obstacle you encounter is an opportunity to hear a message. It is the universe communicating in ways both obvious and hidden to guide you, shape you, and direct you toward your soul's calling. Sometimes these signs are obvious, like a conversation you overhear that gives you the exact answer to a problem you've been struggling with. Other times, they are more subtle, a recurring dream, a number that keeps showing up in your life, a song that keeps playing at pivotal moments. The key is not to dismiss these as mere chance, but to start seeing them as signals. When you begin to tune into the language of the universe, you begin to recognize the threads that connect your life in ways you could never have imagined before. These threads, which at first seem random, begin to weave a story that is uniquely yours, unfolding before your eyes. Synchronicities are a perfect example of how the universe communicates with us. This concept, popularized by the Swiss psychologist Carl Jung, refers to meaningful coincidences that seem too precise or significant to be chalked up to mere chance. It's as if the universe, or the divine intelligence that governs all, is providing you with little nudges, showing you the way forward. For instance, you may have been thinking about a certain person for days, wondering how they were, and then, out of nowhere, you run into them in a place you least expect. Or perhaps you've been contemplating a big decision, feeling uncertain about the next step, and then you come across a book, a movie, or a conversation that offers you exactly the guidance you needed to hear. These are not coincidences. They are the universe speaking, using synchronicity as its language to align you with your path. Once you begin to understand and trust this language, you can start to anticipate these signs and learn to read them, knowing that they are all pieces of the puzzle that, when put together, reveal the bigger picture of your life's purpose. The more you pay attention to these signs, the more you will realize that they are everywhere, woven into the mundane and extraordinary aspects of life. They speak through nature, through encounters with strangers, through the moments of stillness when you are alone with your thoughts. The key is to cultivate a sensitivity to these messages, to become aware of the moments that stand out to you for reasons you can't quite explain. When you trust that these moments are speaking to you in a language that you can understand, you begin to see the divine order behind everything that happens in your life. Your task is not to try to force meaning, but to remain open and receptive to it, trusting that the signs you receive are always in your best interest, guiding you toward your highest potential. How the universe whispers and sometimes shouts. In its most delicate form, the universe whispers to you, gently, subtly, like a breeze brushing against your skin, a soft nudge in the direction of your destiny. These whispers are easy to miss if you're not paying attention. They come in the form of fleeting thoughts, sudden ideas, unexpected impulses. It might be the thought to call a friend you haven't spoken to in years, or the feeling that you should take a different route to work, even though it's not the most convenient. These moments may seem insignificant, but they are actually profound communications from the universe, urging you to align with the flow of your true path. The universe is constantly speaking, but most of the time, it does so in a quiet, subtle way. It's like a radio station that is always broadcasting, but you have to tune your inner receiver to the right frequency to catch the message. This is where mindfulness and awareness come into play. The more present you are, the more attuned you become to the gentle whispers of the universe. But there are times when the universe is not so subtle. There are times when it shouts. These moments are often accompanied by a sense of urgency or intensity, forcing you to pay attention whether you want to or not. Perhaps it's a major life event that shakes you to your core. The loss of a job, the end of a relationship, a sudden health crisis. In these moments, the universe is no longer whispering. It is demanding that you listen. These loud moments may feel like disruption, but they are often the catalysts for transformation. They push you out of your comfort zone and force you to confront the very things you have been avoiding, the parts of yourself that need to be healed or awakened. It is in these moments of intensity that the universe is calling you to step into a new chapter of your life, to break free from the patterns and limitations that have been holding you back. The universe's shouts may not feel comfortable, but they are always in service of your greater good, guiding you toward the fullest expression of who you are meant to be. The key to understanding both the whispers and the shouts is to see them as messages of love, even when they appear as challenges or disruptions. The universe does not work against you. It works for you. Every whisper and every shout is designed to move you closer to your true purpose, to awaken you to the power and potential within you. By learning to listen to both the subtle and loud messages, you develop a deeper relationship with the universe. You begin to see yourself not as a passive recipient of life's circumstances, but as an active participant in the unfolding of your destiny. This understanding transforms the way you view obstacles and challenges. Rather than seeing them as random or punitive, you start to see them as essential parts of your soul's journey, stepping stones that will ultimately lead you toward the life you were always meant to live. Reading energy versus reading situations. The key to fully understanding the language of destiny lies not just in interpreting signs, but in learning to read energy. Signs and synchronicities are often the universe's way of pointing you toward a situation or opportunity, but energy is what guides you through the experience once you step into it. In every interaction, every moment, there is a flow of energy, an undercurrent that shapes how events unfold. Reading this energy is like learning to feel the pulse of life, tuning into the vibrational essence of a person, place, or situation. While most people are conditioned to read situations based on logic, facts, and external circumstances, those who are attuned to their own inner guidance system know that true understanding comes from reading energy, not just the surface level of what is happening. When you read energy, You become aware of the subtle vibrations that exist beneath the words, beneath the actions. You can feel the true intention behind someone's words, even when their language says something different. You sense the hidden dynamics of a situation that might not be immediately apparent. This ability to read energy is not limited to interpersonal interactions. It applies to everything, from sensing whether a decision feels aligned with your soul's purpose to reading the energy of a place before you even set foot in it. When you are able to read energy, you are no longer a passive observer of your life. You are an active participant, making choices based not just on what you see, but on what you feel. You become more intuitive, more in tune with the unseen forces that are shaping your experiences. This ability to read energy also allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and clarity. Rather than getting lost in the details of a situation, you can tune into the underlying energy and use that information to guide your decisions. If you sense that a situation is draining your energy, you can choose to step away. If you feel that a new opportunity aligns with your soul's blueprint, you can step forward with confidence. Energy reading is not about control, but about alignment. It is about trusting that you are part of a larger cosmic dance, and that when you align yourself with the flow of life, everything falls into place. The more you trust your ability to read energy, the more you can let go of the need to force outcomes and instead allow life to unfold with grace and ease. Chapter 4. Awakening Inner Power. Tapping into your hidden energy reserves. We all carry within us untapped reserves of power. This power is not something that needs to be found outside of ourselves. It's not something we have to seek through external circumstances or material achievements. It is already within us, lying dormant, waiting to be activated. Much like a dormant seed in the soil, this power has the potential to grow and flourish, but only if we create the right conditions for it. The problem is that most people are unaware of this inner power, and even if they are often afraid to access it. They are conditioned to believe that true power lies outside themselves, in the hands of others, or in external situations. But true power is the ability to access and harness the energy that already exists within. It is the energy of your soul, your purpose, and your unique potential. When you tap into this power, you realize that you are not just a passive observer of your life. You are the creator, the force that shapes your reality. The key to awakening this inner power is to begin recognizing the subtle, often invisible ways in which your energy flows. Power is not just about strength or force. It is about presence, alignment, and clarity. When you are aligned with your true self, when your actions, thoughts, and emotions are all in harmony, you experience a surge of energy that propels you forward. This energy feels different from the external sources of stimulation that we often rely on, such as caffeine, adrenaline, or the approval of others. It is a deeper, more sustainable energy that comes from within. When you tap into it, you feel grounded, centered, and connected to something larger than yourself. Your actions become purposeful, and you begin to make decisions that reflect your true desires, rather than the expectations or limitations of the outside world. This energy allows you to move through life with greater ease and flow, as you align yourself with your highest potential. One of the first steps in awakening this inner power is to quiet the external noise. We live in a world filled with distractions, social media, the opinions of others, the constant push to achieve and do more. This noise creates a veil that prevents us from connecting to our inner power. In order to access it, we must cultivate stillness and mindfulness. This stillness allows us to listen to our inner voice, to reconnect with the energy that lies beneath the surface of our busy thoughts. Meditation, breathing exercises, and spending time in nature are all powerful practices that help to quiet the mind and bring us back to our center. When we quiet the noise, we can hear the subtle whispers of our soul, and in that silence, we find our power. Awakening your inner power requires a commitment to slowing down and creating space for your authentic self to emerge. It is through this space that you begin to access the hidden reserves of energy that can propel you toward the life you are meant to live, trusting the inner voice over external noise. The greatest challenge in accessing your inner power is not that it doesn't exist, it's that you've been taught to distrust it. From a young age, you were conditioned to look outside yourself for validation, approval, and answers. You were taught to listen to authority figures, to follow the rules, and to conform to societal expectations. But in doing so, you were trained to ignore the most powerful source of guidance you have, your own inner voice. This inner voice is not a distant, ethereal whisper. It is the clear, intuitive knowing that comes from the deepest part of your being. It is the voice that tells you when something feels right or wrong, even before you can explain why. It is the voice that knows your true desires, your deepest fears, and your highest potential. Yet, for many people, this voice is drowned out by the loud and persistent noise of the external world. Trusting this inner voice requires a leap of faith. It requires you to step away from the conditioning that tells you to seek approval from others and to start trusting yourself. The external noise, society's expectations, the opinions of others, the pressure to conform, creates doubt and confusion. It tells you to question your instincts, to question your desires, and to question your power. But your inner voice does not lie. It is the voice of your soul, and it has been guiding you since the moment you were born. The more you learn to trust this voice, the more you will realize that it is always leading you toward what is best for you. Your inner voice is like a compass, guiding you toward your true north. It may not always make logical sense, and it may not always fit with what others expect of you, but it will always align with your highest good. One of the most effective ways to strengthen your trust in your inner voice is to begin taking small steps in alignment with it. Start by listening to your gut feelings. If something doesn't feel right, trust that it isn't. If something excites you, even if it feels scary, trust that it is calling you toward your true purpose. Over time, you will begin to develop a deeper relationship with your inner guidance, and you will learn to trust it more fully. When you make decisions from this place of inner alignment, you will begin to notice that your life flows more smoothly. Opportunities will begin to present themselves, and you will find that you are more in control of your own destiny. Trusting your inner voice is not always easy, but it is the key to unlocking your full potential. When you trust yourself, you step into the power that has always been within you. Claiming responsibility for your frequency. Your frequency is the energy you emit into the world. It is the vibrational signature that you carry with you wherever you go. This frequency is influenced by your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions. In essence, your frequency is your personal energy field, and it is constantly interacting with the energy around you. When you are in alignment with your true self, your frequency is high and you attract experiences, people, and opportunities that match that energy. But when you are out of alignment, when you are disconnected from your purpose or stuck in negative thought patterns, your frequency lowers and you begin to attract experiences that reflect that lower vibration. Claiming responsibility for your frequency means taking ownership of the energy you project into the world. It means understanding that your energy is not random. It is a reflection of your inner state. To claim responsibility for your frequency, you must first become aware of the energy you are emitting. Are you radiating positivity, love, and confidence, or are you emitting fear, doubt, and negativity? The more aware you become of your frequency, the more you can take control of it. This requires conscious effort, especially in challenging situations. When you feel triggered or overwhelmed, it's easy to allow your frequency to drop. But by taking a moment to center yourself, to breathe, and to reset your energy, you can raise your frequency and shift the energy of the situation. Practices like gratitude, meditation, and visualization are all powerful tools for raising your frequency. By focusing on the things that bring you joy, by expressing appreciation for the present moment, and by visualizing your highest potential, you can elevate your energy and attract experiences that align with that higher vibration. Claiming responsibility for your frequency also means recognizing that you are the creator of your reality. The energy you put out into the world shapes the experiences you have. When you take full responsibility for your frequency, you stop blaming others or external circumstances for your experiences. Instead, you recognize that you have the power to shift your energy at any given moment. This realization is incredibly empowering because it means you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your own reality. The energy you project into the world is the energy you will receive in return. By consciously raising your frequency and aligning with your true self, you begin to attract the life you desire, one that is full of abundance, joy, and fulfillment. When you claim responsibility for your frequency, you take ownership of your power, and in doing so, you awaken the potential to create a life beyond your wildest dreams. Chapter 5. Intuition, your inner oracle. What intuition really is, beyond gut feelings. Intuition is one of the most profound and misunderstood aspects of our inner power. It's often dismissed as something mystical or irrational, a mere gut feeling, or an inexplicable hunch that comes and goes without explanation. But in reality, intuition is a highly sophisticated, deeply rooted function of the subconscious mind, a direct connection to the wisdom of your soul. It is not random or erratic. It is a powerful and reliable source of insight that transcends logical thinking. Unlike rational thought, which is shaped by our experiences, beliefs, and learned patterns, intuition operates from a place of deep knowing, far beyond the limitations of the conscious mind. It taps into the vast ocean of universal knowledge, offering guidance that is rooted in the unseen forces that govern our lives. The beauty of intuition lies in its ability to guide us without the interference of our analytical minds. We all have access to this inner guidance system, though many of us are unaware of it or have learned to distrust it. From the moment we are born, intuition is our constant companion. It is the voice that speaks when our minds are quiet enough to listen. It's the inner knowing that tells us when something is right or wrong, even if we can't articulate why. It's the nudge to pick up the phone and call a friend you haven't spoken to in years, only to find out they were going through a crisis at the very moment you reached out. It's the sense that a certain opportunity is meant for you, even though on paper, it may not seem logical. Intuition is not based on data or evidence. It's based on an innate sense of alignment with our deeper selves. It is a constant flow of information from the subconscious mind, offering us wisdom that is available when we stop overthinking and allow ourselves to be present. What makes intuition so powerful is its direct connection to your soul's purpose. Your soul knows why you are here, what you are meant to do, and what experiences will serve your highest growth. The more you trust and cultivate this connection, the more accurate and reliable your intuitive guidance becomes. Intuition transcends the limitations of linear time, space, and logic. It allows us to tap into the flow of universal energy and access wisdom that is beyond the realm of human understanding. Every moment is an opportunity to deepen your connection with your intuition. And the more you tune in, the more you'll discover how attuned you truly are to the infinite intelligence that surrounds you. Intuition is not a mystery. It is a deep and ancient part of who you are. By trusting it, you unlock the gateway to greater wisdom, clarity, and alignment with your true path. Training your awareness for deeper insight. The ability to hear and trust your intuition is not something that happens overnight. It's a skill that requires practice, patience, and a willingness to quiet the mind and tune into the subtle messages that are constantly being sent your way. For many people, their intuitive gifts have been dulled by the noise of the modern world. Constant distractions, societal pressures, and the overwhelming need to conform to external expectations. As a result, they have learned to ignore or dismiss the small nudges of intuition, opting instead to rely on logic and reason. But intuition is a muscle, and like any muscle, it can be strengthened through regular practice and awareness. The key is to create the conditions in which your intuitive voice can be heard above the noise. One of the most effective ways to train your awareness is through mindfulness practices. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment with acceptance and without judgment. It is about becoming deeply aware of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations in each moment without allowing them to control or overwhelm you. When you practice mindfulness, you create space between your thoughts and actions, allowing your intuition to rise to the surface. This space allows you to observe your inner experience without the interference of your ego, which often tries to rationalize or dismiss intuitive insights. By practicing mindfulness, you can begin to discern between the voice of your intuition and the voice of fear, doubt, or conditioning. You'll start to notice subtle shifts in your thoughts or feelings that guide you toward a clearer understanding of your desires and needs. Over time, as you become more attuned to these intuitive nudges, you'll find that they become more frequent and easier to identify. Another practice that helps train your awareness is journaling. Journaling provides a safe space for you to explore your thoughts, emotions, and intuitive impressions. It's a powerful tool for connecting with your inner wisdom and gaining insight into your subconscious mind. When you write freely and without judgment, you allow the unconscious mind to bring up hidden truths, fears, and desires that may be clouded by logic or societal conditioning. As you write, pay attention to any intuitive insights that arise. These may appear as sudden flashes of inspiration, or they may come as subtle feelings that shift your perception of a situation. Over time, you'll begin to notice patterns in your intuitive insights, allowing you to discern which messages are aligned with your highest good and which may be coming from fear or insecurity. By training your awareness through mindfulness and journaling, you begin to create a clearer channel through which your intuition can flow, providing you with deeper insights into your life and your purpose. The dance between logic and knowing intuition and logic are often viewed as opposing forces, with intuition being seen as irrational or unreliable, and logic as the more trustworthy, methodical approach. But in truth, intuition and logic are not mutually exclusive. They can work together in harmony, each providing valuable insights that help us navigate life's complexities. Logic is the analytical mind's ability to process information, break down problems, and find solutions based on past experiences and learned knowledge. Intuition, on the other hand, operates in the realm of the unknown and the unseen. It allows us to tap into information that cannot be processed by the rational mind. While logic helps us understand the how of a situation, intuition reveals the why and the what, providing us with the deeper meaning behind our actions and decisions. When you learn to trust both your logic and your intuition, you create a powerful synergy that allows you to make decisions that are both grounded in reality and aligned with your highest potential. The key is to find balance between the two. Logic is incredibly useful when making decisions that require practical, step-by-step action. It helps us analyze the risks, weigh the options, and evaluate the consequences. But logic alone can be limiting, especially when it comes to decisions that require a deeper, more intuitive understanding of our soul's path. Intuition, on the other hand, can offer insights that may seem illogical at first, but that ultimately guide us toward the right path. When we honor both our logical mind and our intuitive wisdom, we are able to make decisions that are not only practical, but also aligned with our true desires and purpose. This dance between logic and intuition is not always easy to master, especially when the two seem to be in conflict. There will be times when your logical mind wants to take a certain path, but your intuition is pulling you in a completely different direction. In these moments, it's important to pause and reflect. Tune into the feelings that arise within you when you consider both options. Does one path feel more aligned with your true self, even if it doesn't make logical sense? Does the other path feel comfortable, but ultimately hollow? When you listen deeply, you may find that the intuitive path is the one that brings you greater fulfillment, even if it requires more risk or uncertainty. Learning to trust the wisdom of both logic and intuition allows you to make decisions that honor both your practical needs and your soul's deeper calling, creating a life that is both grounded and expansive. Chapter 6. Healing the Inner Barriers. Understanding emotional triggers as teachers. Emotional triggers are often seen as obstacles, undesirable, uncomfortable, and something to be avoided at all costs. The word trigger itself tends to carry a negative connotation, bringing to mind explosive reactions, uncontrollable emotional outbursts, or deep unresolved pain. But what if these triggers were not to be feared or suppressed? What if they were the very tools we needed to heal and grow? Each emotional trigger you experience is a doorway to understanding a deeper part of yourself, a part that is often hidden beneath layers of conditioning, pain, and unresolved emotions. When you are triggered by someone or something, it's not simply about that person or event. It is a reflection of something within you that has yet to be fully healed or integrated. Emotional triggers act as mirrors, reflecting back to you the unresolved wounds, fears, and limiting beliefs that are still operating within your subconscious mind. What you must understand about emotional triggers is that they are not inherently negative. They are opportunities for healing. Every time you are triggered, there is an invitation to look inward and examine why you are reacting the way you are. It's easy to blame others for your emotional responses, to point fingers and say, "They made me feel this way." But the truth is, no one has the power to make you feel anything. Your emotions are the result of your thoughts, beliefs, and interpretations of the situation. What triggers you is a reflection of the unresolved emotional charge that exists within you. And it's only by addressing these triggers that you can begin to release their hold over you. When you learn to approach your triggers with curiosity rather than judgment, you unlock a powerful tool for emotional healing. Instead of avoiding or numbing these triggers, you begin to see them as invitations to uncover deeper truths about yourself. As you start to explore your emotional triggers, you will begin to notice patterns. Certain situations or people may trigger the same emotional response over and over again. These recurring triggers are not coincidences. They are signs that there is something within you that is asking to be healed. Perhaps it's a fear of abandonment, a belief in unworthiness, or an old wound from childhood that has yet to be addressed. Whatever it is, the trigger is giving you the opportunity to release the emotional charge and shift the belief that is holding you back. This process of healing requires vulnerability, self-compassion, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable emotions. It is through this confrontation with your inner wounds that you can begin to heal and release the past, allowing you to step into a future that is free of emotional reactivity. As you heal the emotional triggers within you, you create space for deeper peace, resilience, and emotional freedom. The link between wounds and wisdom. Every emotional wound you carry holds within it a seed of wisdom. Though these wounds may cause pain, shame, or discomfort in the present, they are not meaningless. Each wound is an opportunity for growth, learning, and transformation. The key is to shift your perspective on pain. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid, numb, or eliminate, you can choose to view it as a source of profound insight and wisdom. Just as a tree grows stronger and more resilient in the face of a storm, your soul grows stronger and more resilient in the face of emotional adversity. When you experience emotional pain, you are being given the chance to confront an aspect of yourself that requires healing. This is not to say that the pain is pleasant or easy to bear, but it is a necessary part of the journey towards self-realization and wholeness. The process of healing emotional wounds often involves revisiting the past, especially the moments when the wound was first created. This could be a traumatic event from childhood, a relationship that ended in betrayal, or a personal failure that left you feeling inadequate. As you revisit these painful memories, you are not reliving the trauma. Rather, you are looking at it with new eyes that are grounded in compassion, understanding, and the desire to learn from the experience. What did this wound teach you? What beliefs about yourself or the world did it reinforce? How has this wound shaped the way you view relationships, success, or your own worth? By asking these questions, you begin to uncover the hidden wisdom within your wounds. The wisdom may be uncomfortable to face at first, but it is always there, waiting for you to acknowledge it. This process of self-inquiry and reflection is what transforms wounds into sources of strength. The more you understand the roots of your pain, the more you can free yourself from its hold. The deeper the wound, the greater the potential for growth, as long as you are willing to face it with courage and an open heart. Wisdom is not something that comes only from positive experiences or successes. It is often the result of deep struggle, vulnerability, and the willingness to embrace your imperfections. Each time you heal a wound, you gain a deeper understanding of who you are and what you are capable of. This wisdom empowers you to make better decisions, to set healthier boundaries, and to show up in the world as a more authentic version of yourself. As you heal the wounds of your past, you shed the limiting beliefs and self-doubt that have held you back, and you step into a new level of empowerment. Your wounds, once seen as sources of pain, become sources of strength, wisdom, and resilience. They become the stepping stones that lead you toward a more fulfilled, purposeful life. Healing is not just about eliminating pain. It's about transforming it into wisdom that propels you forward on your path. Forgiveness work, setting yourself free. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools for healing, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood. For many, forgiveness is seen as an act of letting someone off the hook for their actions, an act of condoning or excusing behavior that has caused harm. But true forgiveness is not about excusing or condoning the actions of others. It is about freeing yourself from the emotional and energetic burden of holding on to resentment, anger, and hurt. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you. When you hold on to grudges, anger, or resentment, you are essentially keeping yourself tethered to the past. You allow the actions of others to continue to affect your present and your future. In order to move forward and create space for healing, you must be willing to let go of the emotional weight that forgiveness brings. Forgiveness work requires that you take full responsibility for your emotions. It's about acknowledging the hurt, the pain, and the anger that you've been carrying, but also recognizing that these emotions are keeping you stuck. By holding on to them, you allow the person who hurt you to continue having power over your emotions and your life. Forgiveness is about reclaiming that power. It is about releasing the need to be right, to hold on to the past, and to seek revenge or retribution. When you forgive, you free yourself from the shackles of victimhood. You stop allowing your identity to be defined by what others have done to you. Instead, you reclaim your sovereignty and your peace. Forgiveness does not mean you forget or condone what happened. It means you choose to release the emotional charge and to step into a space of freedom and healing. The process of forgiveness can be deeply transformative. It requires vulnerability, self-compassion, and a willingness to confront the emotions that have kept you stuck. It is not a one-time event. It is a process that may take time and require multiple layers of release. One of the most powerful ways to begin forgiveness work is through visualization and inner dialogue. Close your eyes and imagine the person or situation that has caused you pain. See them in your mind's eye, and then, in the quiet of your heart, speak the words of forgiveness. This can be done in a letter to the person, whether or not you ever send it, in a journal, or simply as a silent prayer. What is important is that you consciously choose to release the emotional charge and allow healing to take place. When you forgive, you open the door to emotional freedom and you allow yourself to step into the life that is waiting for you, one that is free of the burdens of the past. Forgiveness is not a gift for the other person. It is a gift for yourself. It is the key that unlocks the door to your own liberation. Chapter 7. The Power of Self-Belief. Belief as the architect of reality. Belief is one of the most powerful forces shaping your experience of life. It is the invisible framework through which you view the world, yourself, and your potential. In essence, your beliefs create your reality. They shape your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and ultimately, the outcomes you experience in life. What you believe about yourself, about others, and about the world directly influences how you show up each day, the choices you make, and the opportunities you attract. If you believe that the world is full of abundance, that you are capable of achieving your dreams, and that you are worthy of love and success, then that belief will permeate every aspect of your life. On the other hand, if you believe that life is a struggle, that you are not good enough, or that success is reserved for others, those beliefs will also shape your experiences in ways that limit your growth and potential. The incredible thing about belief is that it doesn't need to be based on evidence or logic. Belief is a product of the mind and soul, and it can transcend the limitations of external circumstances. Often, the beliefs we hold about ourselves and our abilities are inherited from others. Whether it's the messages we received from our parents, teachers, or society at large, many of us have internalized limiting beliefs that were never ours to begin with. These beliefs may have been instilled in us during childhood, or they may have developed as a result of past failures or experiences. However, the most powerful realization is that beliefs are not set in stone. They are flexible, malleable, and can be changed with intention and practice. The moment you recognize that your beliefs are not fixed truths, but rather choices you have made, you begin to unlock the potential to transform your life. When you begin to question your beliefs and identify those that limit your potential, you open the door to new possibilities. Imagine for a moment that you could wake up tomorrow and choose to believe that you are powerful, that you are deserving of all the success and happiness life has to offer, and that every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth. What would change in your life if you operated from a place of absolute belief in yourself? This is the key to transforming your reality. Belief is the architect of your future, and it has the power to shape the path you walk upon. When you choose to believe in your own potential, you step into a new realm of possibility. The more you nurture and reinforce positive, empowering beliefs, the more your reality will reflect them. It all begins with what you choose to believe. How limiting beliefs hide in plain sight. Limiting beliefs are often sneaky, lurking beneath the surface of our conscious awareness. They are the thoughts, stories, and narratives we hold about ourselves that create invisible barriers to our potential. The tricky thing about these beliefs is that they are so deeply ingrained in our psyche that we don't even recognize them as limiting. In fact, many of these beliefs feel like truth to us. They have been with us for so long that they are often mistaken for facts. For example, you may believe that you're not good enough to pursue your dreams, or that you'll never be successful because of past failures. These beliefs can become so ingrained that they shape the decisions you make, often without you even realizing it. Limiting beliefs are often passed down through generations, so you may not even be fully aware of their origins. The beliefs that shape your current reality may have been planted in your subconscious by people you trusted, society's expectations, or cultural norms that don't serve you. One of the most common limiting beliefs is the idea of not being enough. This belief can manifest in many forms: feeling not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough, or not deserving of success and happiness. These beliefs can stem from childhood experiences, societal messages, or personal failures. The mind tends to latch onto beliefs that feel familiar even if they are limiting, because it feels safer to hold on to them than to challenge them. In this way, limiting beliefs can become self-fulfilling prophecies. For example, if you believe that you're not good enough to achieve your dreams, you might subconsciously sabotage opportunities when they arise, or you might procrastinate because you don't believe you have the ability to succeed. These limiting beliefs act like invisible fences that prevent you from stepping outside your comfort zone and exploring your true potential. The first step in overcoming limiting beliefs is becoming aware of them. This requires honest self-reflection and a willingness to question the thoughts and beliefs that have shaped your life thus far. Start by paying attention to your self-talk, the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you are capable of. What do you say to yourself when faced with a challenge or an opportunity? What messages have you internalized about your worth, your potential, and your place in the world? Once you begin to identify these limiting beliefs, you can start the process of rewriting them. The key to transforming limiting beliefs is to replace them with new, empowering beliefs. Instead of telling yourself, "I'm not good enough," you can replace that belief with, "I am capable, and I have everything I need to succeed." Over time, with practice and repetition, these new empowering beliefs will replace the old limiting ones, and you will begin to see new opportunities and possibilities unfolding before you. The process may take time, but with consistency and intention, you can break free from the grip of limiting beliefs and step into a life of unlimited potential. Techniques to rewire your inner narrative, rewriting. Your inner narrative is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate self-belief and overcome the limiting beliefs that have held you back. Your inner narrative is the story you tell yourself about who you are, what you can do, and what you deserve. This narrative is shaped by your beliefs, experiences, and perceptions, and it governs the choices you make and the way you show up in the world. The good news is that you have the power to change your inner narrative at any time. Just as a writer revises a story, you can revise the script you've been living by, replacing old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. The process of rewiring your inner narrative begins with becoming conscious of the language you use when thinking about yourself and your abilities. Do you use words that are self-critical or self-limiting? Do you tell yourself that you're not smart enough, capable enough, or deserving of success? If so, it's time to shift the language you use to describe yourself and your potential. One of the most effective ways to begin rewiring your inner narrative is through the use of affirmations. Affirmations are positive, present tense statements that help you create a new belief about yourself. For example, if you've been telling yourself that you're not good enough, an affirmation you could use might be, "I am worthy of all the success and happiness life has to offer." Repeating affirmations regularly, especially first thing in the morning or just before bed, can help to reprogram your subconscious mind and replace old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. The key to affirmations is to speak them with conviction and belief. If you don't fully believe the affirmation at first, that's okay. The more you repeat it, the more you begin to shift your subconscious mind to align with the new belief. Visualization is another powerful tool for rewiring your inner narrative. Visualization involves mentally picturing yourself as the person you want to become. It's not just about imagining success. It's about imagining yourself already living the life you desire. When you visualize, see yourself confidently pursuing your dreams, achieving your goals, and experiencing the life you truly want. This process sends a message to your subconscious mind that this reality is possible and that you are capable of creating it. The more vividly and frequently you visualize your ideal life, the more your subconscious mind will begin to accept it as your new reality. By consistently visualizing the success, happiness, and self-belief you desire, you rewire your inner narrative to match your highest potential. Finally, Journaling is an excellent way to clarify and reinforce your new inner narrative. Take some time each day to write about the person you want to become. Describe in detail what your life looks like when you are confident, empowered, and living in alignment with your true purpose. Journaling allows you to reflect on your progress, track your growth, and deepen your connection with your new empowering beliefs. By journaling regularly, you create a written record of your transformation, which serves as a reminder of how far you've come and how much potential you have yet to unlock. Rewriting your inner narrative is not an overnight process, but with consistent effort and intention, you will begin to notice profound shifts in your confidence, self-belief, and the way you show up in the world. Chapter 8. Reclaiming Your Authentic Voice. Speaking your truth without fear. One of the most profound acts of self-empowerment is the ability to speak your truth without fear of judgment or rejection. Your authentic voice is the expression of your inner wisdom, your unique perspective, and your deepest desires. It is the essence of who you are. Yet many of us have spent years suppressing this voice, either because we fear how others will react or because we have been taught to conform to societal norms. The fear of speaking our truth often comes from a deep-seated belief that we are not enough or that our voice doesn't matter. But the truth is, the world needs your authentic voice. It needs your unique perspective, your insights, and your willingness to be vulnerable and real. When you speak your truth, you step into a place of power, and that power has the potential to inspire, heal, and transform not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. Many of us are conditioned to keep our thoughts and feelings to ourselves to avoid conflict or rejection. We have learned to prioritize the approval of others over our own truth. This is especially true for those who have been raised in environments that value conformity over individuality, or who have faced criticism or ridicule for expressing themselves authentically. Over time, this conditioning can create a deep sense of self-doubt and fear of speaking up. Yet, it is important to recognize that speaking your truth is not about being confrontational or disrespectful. It is about honoring yourself and your feelings, regardless of whether others agree or not. When you speak from a place of authenticity, you communicate from the core of who you are, and that energy resonates with others. It may challenge them to think differently, but it will also create space for them to express their own truths. The process of reclaiming your authentic voice requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. It starts with becoming deeply connected to yourself, to understanding who you are, what you value, and what you stand for. When you know who you are at your core, you can speak with conviction, even in the face of fear. It may feel uncomfortable at first, and you may experience resistance from others, but the more you practice speaking your truth, the more natural it becomes. Your voice will no longer be something you hesitate to use, but rather a powerful tool for self-expression and connection. As you begin to speak your truth with confidence, you will notice a shift in your relationships, your sense of self-worth, and your overall experience of life. You will no longer feel the need to silence yourself or shrink in the presence of others. Instead, you will stand firm in your authenticity, knowing that your truth has the power to create change, both within yourself and in the world, breaking free from people-pleasing patterns. People-pleasing is a behavior that often stems from a deep fear of rejection or conflict. It is the habit of putting others' needs, wants, and opinions ahead of your own, often at the expense of your own well-being and authenticity. The desire to please others can be rooted in childhood experiences where love and acceptance were conditional, or in cultural environments that place high value on external validation. As a result, many individuals grow up with a subconscious belief that their worth is tied to how much they can do for others and how much they can make others happy. While the intention behind people-pleasing may be to gain love or approval, the reality is that it leads to an inner emptiness. When we are constantly focused on meeting others' expectations, we lose sight of our own desires, needs, and boundaries. The problem with people-pleasing is that it keeps us in a cycle of self-sacrifice and denial. We become so focused on making others happy that we forget to nurture our own happiness and well-being. Over time, this can lead to feelings of resentment, burnout, and a loss of self-identity. It is common for people-pleasers to feel that they are not allowed to say no, to ask for their needs to be met, or to express their true opinions. In extreme cases, people-pleasers may suppress their desires, dreams, and goals, all in the name of keeping the peace or ensuring others' approval. This is a form of self-betrayal, as it places the needs of others above the most important person in your life, you. Releasing the people-pleasing pattern requires a radical shift in mindset, a recognition that your worth is inherent and not dependent on how much you can do for others or how much they approve of you. Breaking free from people-pleasing begins with self-awareness. It requires you to take a step back and ask yourself why you are constantly seeking approval from others. Is it because you feel insecure? Do you believe that if you say no or express your truth, people will stop loving or accepting you? Once you identify the root cause of your people-pleasing behavior, you can begin to challenge the beliefs that are driving it. It's important to understand that it is not selfish to prioritize your own needs. It is an essential act of self-care. Learning to say no when necessary, setting clear boundaries, and speaking your truth, even when it may be uncomfortable, are all crucial steps in reclaiming your authenticity. As you practice setting boundaries and honoring your own needs, you will begin to experience a sense of freedom and empowerment that comes from no longer being at the mercy of others' expectations. You will find that when you are true to yourself, you attract relationships and experiences that align with your values and desires, rather than staying stuck in patterns of people-pleasing and self-sacrifice. Aligning your words with your soul's truth. The connection between your words and your soul's truth is profound. Every time you speak, you are sharing a reflection of your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. When your words align with your soul's truth, they carry a vibration of authenticity, power, and integrity. However, when you speak out of fear, doubt, or the desire for external validation, your words can feel hollow or disconnected from your true self. It is not just the content of what you say that matters, but the energy behind it. Words spoken from a place of authenticity have the power to heal, to inspire, and to create real change. They carry a frequency that resonates with those around you, drawing people to you who resonate with your truth. But when your words are misaligned with your soul's truth, they can feel disconnected or inauthentic, leading to misunderstandings or a sense of dissonance in your relationships and experiences. To align your words with your soul's truth, it is necessary to first cultivate a deep connection with yourself. You must become aware of your inner thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, and be willing to speak from that place of authenticity. This may require you to get quiet, to listen to your inner voice, and to ask yourself difficult questions about who you really are and what you truly desire. When you speak from a place of inner knowing, your words become more than just communication. They become a powerful tool for manifestation. Your words can create the reality you desire when they are aligned with your soul's deepest desires. This alignment requires courage, as it often means speaking out loud the truths that you have kept hidden or suppressed. It may involve expressing desires, opinions, or feelings that are vulnerable or difficult to share. But the more you practice speaking from your soul's truth, the easier it becomes, and the more natural it feels to be fully authentic in your self-expression. Aligning your words with your soul's truth also means taking responsibility for the energy you bring into every interaction. Words are not just empty sounds. They are carriers of energy. When you speak from a place of fear or scarcity, that energy will be reflected in your communication. Conversely, when you speak from a place of abundance, love, and alignment, Your words will carry the energy of possibility and empowerment. The key is to become aware of the energy behind your words and to ensure that it is aligned with your true essence. This practice of speaking from the heart, with intention and authenticity, allows you to build deeper connections with others, while also reinforcing your sense of self-worth and inner strength. As you reclaim your authentic voice and speak your truth, you will notice how much more powerfully you are able to navigate life, attract opportunities, and create the relationships and experiences that truly reflect who you are. Chapter 9. Courage to choose your path. The crossroads of fear and freedom. In life, we are constantly faced with crossroads, those pivotal moments where we must make choices that will shape the course of our journey. These crossroads often bring with them a blend of excitement and fear. The excitement stems from the potential of the new path, the possibility of growth, adventure, and a future that aligns with our deeper desires. The fear, however, comes from the uncertainty of stepping into the unknown, the risk of failure, and the discomfort that change often brings. At these crossroads, we are confronted with a powerful question. Do we continue down the path that feels familiar but unsatisfying? Or do we summon the courage to step into a new chapter that requires us to confront our deepest fears and embrace the unknown? Fear is a natural and primal response to change. It's the voice in our head that tells us to stay safe, to play small, and to avoid risk. This voice often disguises itself as a protector, warning us of potential dangers and challenges. But in truth, fear is also the very thing that keeps us stuck, preventing us from stepping into the fullness of who we are meant to be. It's the fear of the unknown, the fear of making the wrong choice, and the fear of what others might think that keeps us from making bold decisions. And yet, it is precisely through these moments of fear that our greatest opportunities for growth and transformation lie. The act of choosing a new path, even when we are uncertain, requires courage. A courage that comes from trusting ourselves and the process of life itself. It is about recognizing that while the future is unknown, we have the power to shape it through our choices. The crossroads we face are not merely obstacles to be avoided, but invitations to grow, to expand, and to live authentically. The freedom that comes with choosing your path is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward in spite of it. When we choose from a place of courage, we are no longer letting fear dictate our decisions. Instead, we are choosing what aligns with our truth, our values, and our soul's calling. It's important to remember that every path, no matter how uncertain, is an opportunity for self-discovery. The road less traveled often holds the greatest potential for transformation, but it requires us to embrace the discomfort of the unknown and trust that we are capable of navigating it. The courage to choose your path is an act of self-trust, and it is through these courageous choices that we begin to step into the lives we are meant to lead. Small choices that shape big destinies. It's easy to think that our destiny is shaped by a few monumental decisions: the career change, the relationship, the move to a new city. But the truth is, it is the small, seemingly insignificant choices we make every day that truly determine the course of our lives. Each choice we make is like a stone thrown into a pond, creating ripples that expand outward, influencing not only our own journey, but the lives of others as well. The small choices we make on a daily basis, what we say, what we think, how we spend our time, have the power to shape our future in ways we may not fully understand. It's in these subtle moments that our character, our values, and our sense of purpose are solidified. When we focus on the big, dramatic decisions, it's easy to overlook the impact of the small ones. Yet, it is the accumulation of these small choices that ultimately creates the life we live. For example, choosing to wake up 30 minutes earlier to meditate, deciding to speak up in a meeting even when you feel nervous, or opting for a healthy meal instead of an easy junk food choice. Each of these seemingly small decisions creates a ripple effect that influences your energy, your mindset, and the trajectory of your life. Over time, these small choices compound, creating momentum that moves us in the direction of our deepest desires. The key to understanding the power of small choices is recognizing that they are never truly insignificant. Every decision we make, no matter how minor it may seem, contributes to the larger picture of who we are becoming. The beauty of small choices is that they are within our control. While we may not always have control over the big, life-changing events, we do have control over how we respond to the smaller moments. The ability to consistently choose what aligns with our values and goals is a powerful tool for creating the life we desire. And the more intentional we become with our choices, the more we begin to notice how they align with our larger vision. Small choices, when made consistently, become the foundation upon which big transformations are built. If you want to change your life, start by looking at the small decisions you make every day and ask yourself if they are moving you closer to your true path or further away. By cultivating awareness around these decisions, you will find that you have the power to shape your destiny in ways that go beyond what you ever imagined. Why risk is essential for growth. Risk is often seen as something to avoid, a dangerous element that can lead to failure and hardship. However, risk is not only an essential part of growth, it is the very thing that propels us forward on our journey. Without risk, there can be no true growth. Think of any major achievement or transformation in your life. Chances are, it involved some level of risk. Whether it was the risk of stepping into the unknown, taking a leap of faith, or challenging yourself in ways that felt uncomfortable. Risk is the point where courage and opportunity meet. It's where we step beyond our comfort zone and venture into the realm of possibility. Without risk, we remain stagnant, stuck in patterns of complacency, and unable to tap into our full potential. It's through taking risks that we discover what we are truly capable of. Risk, by nature, involves uncertainty. It means stepping into an unfamiliar territory where the outcome is not guaranteed. This uncertainty can be intimidating, and it often triggers our fears. However, it's important to recognize that risk does not always lead to failure. In fact, many of our greatest lessons and successes come from the risks we take. When we risk, we open ourselves to new experiences, new opportunities, and new ways of thinking. We expand our horizons and challenge ourselves to rise above our limitations. It's through risk that we learn resilience, develop confidence, and discover strengths we never knew we had. The key to embracing risk is understanding that failure is not something to be feared. It is a natural part of the learning process. Every time we risk, we grow, whether the outcome is what we expected or not. In fact, sometimes the greatest growth comes from the moments when things don't go as planned, because those are the moments that force us to adapt, to innovate, and to develop a deeper sense of self-awareness. The importance of risk lies not just in its potential for reward, but in its capacity to stretch us beyond what we thought was possible. When we avoid risk, we are limiting ourselves. We are keeping ourselves locked in a box, playing it safe, and avoiding the challenges that could help us become the best version of ourselves. The path of least resistance may seem appealing in the moment, but it is through embracing risk that we unlock the full potential of our lives. If you want to grow, to achieve, and to live a life that is truly fulfilling, you must be willing to take risks. This doesn't mean making reckless decisions or jumping into the unknown without thought. It means making intentional choices that stretch you, that challenge you, and that push you to become more than you were before. Risk is the gateway to growth, and it is through the courage to take risks that we create lives full of possibility, adventure, and transformation. Chapter 10. Aligning with your true calling. Differentiating passion from purpose. One of the greatest challenges many face on their journey of self-discovery is the confusion between passion and purpose. It's easy to assume that what we are passionate about is the same as what we are meant to do in life, but this isn't always the case. Passion can be a driving force, a deep desire that fuels our enthusiasm and energy. It might be something we do for pleasure, something that lights us up and brings us joy. Purpose, on the other hand, is deeper. It is the reason we are here, the unique contribution we are meant to make to the world. While passion is often associated with what excites us in the moment, purpose is connected to the bigger picture of our existence. Understanding this distinction is crucial in aligning with your true calling, as it allows you to navigate life's choices with clarity. Passion is often about personal fulfillment, something that brings us joy and satisfaction. It could be anything from painting, to playing music, to running marathons. These are the activities that we do because they feel good, because they connect us to our inner sense of joy and excitement. But passion alone isn't always enough to guide us to our true calling. Purpose, however, is about making a meaningful contribution to the world, using our unique gifts to serve others or to make an impact that extends beyond our own desires. Purpose is often tied to a sense of responsibility or a calling that transcends our personal enjoyment. It is rooted in the idea of service, of using our passions and talents to benefit not just ourselves, but the world around us. The key to aligning with your true calling is understanding that your passion and your purpose can work together, but they are not necessarily the same thing. Sometimes, your passion can be a stepping stone that leads you toward your purpose. For example, you might be passionate about writing, but your true calling may involve using your writing to raise awareness about a cause or to help others in need. The two are deeply connected, but they are distinct in their energy and focus. Passion brings energy, while purpose gives direction. In the journey of life, it's important to first explore your passions, but then take the time to reflect on how these passions can be used to fulfill your higher purpose. This understanding will give you the clarity and insight to make decisions that are in alignment with your true self, and it will guide you toward a path that feels deeply fulfilling and meaningful. Listening to what lights you up. Aligning with your true calling requires tuning in to what lights you up, the things that stir your soul and make you feel truly alive. These are the activities, people, or environments that cause you to feel expansive, energized, and at peace. They are the things that make you forget time, the moments when you lose yourself in what you're doing, because it feels so right. Too often, we dismiss these feelings or push them aside in favor of what we think we should be doing. Society, family, and external expectations often shape our choices, leading us to follow paths that may not resonate with our authentic selves. Yet, when we begin to listen to what truly lights us up, we open the door to our true calling. The act of paying attention to what excites and inspires us is a key step in discovering the life we are meant to live. What lights you up is often a direct reflection of your deepest desires, your inner truth. It is an intuitive response that points to the places where your soul feels most at home. Sometimes it's a career that aligns with your passions. Other times, it's a relationship or a lifestyle that resonates with your core values. Listening to what lights you up requires mindfulness and self-awareness. It means stepping back from the noise and distractions of everyday life and taking the time to reflect on what makes you feel most alive. It can be easy to overlook these signs, especially when we're caught up in the rush of modern life or when we're focused on external measures of success. But by tuning in to what excites us, we gain access to the wisdom that lies within. This wisdom is a guidepost for aligning with our purpose and stepping into the life we are meant to lead. When we begin to follow what lights us up, we align ourselves with the energy of inspiration, creativity, and joy. It's important to remember that these moments of joy are not accidental. They are signals that we are on the right path. The more we follow these sparks of excitement, the more we begin to see how they lead us toward the things that truly matter. It's often in these moments of pure joy that we experience the most profound sense of connection to our authentic self. The act of following our joy doesn't necessarily mean that everything will be easy or that we won't face challenges, but it does mean that we are following the path that feels aligned with our true purpose, and that is where true fulfillment lies. How service and destiny intertwine. One of the most powerful ways to align with your true calling is by recognizing that your purpose is inherently linked to service. At its core, purpose is not just about what we can gain or achieve for ourselves. It's about how we can use our unique talents, passions, and experiences to serve others and contribute to the greater good. The idea of service can be intimidating or misunderstood. It doesn't always mean grand acts of charity or self-sacrifice. Service can take many forms, from offering a listening ear to a friend, to using your skills in a professional capacity to help others. It's about using what you have, your gifts, your time, your energy, to make a positive impact in the world. When we serve, we not only help others, but also fulfill a deeper part of ourselves that craves meaning and purpose. Service creates a sense of connection and community, reminding us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. Destiny, in its truest sense, is about fulfilling our potential, and that potential is often realized through acts of service. When we choose to align with our true calling, we are choosing to step into a role that serves not only our personal growth, but also the well-being of those around us. This could mean using your talents to teach, to heal, to inspire, or to create. No matter how small or large the impact, service is always a vital part of fulfilling our destiny. It's when we see how our unique gifts can make a difference in the lives of others that we experience the true fulfillment of our purpose. Destiny isn't just about personal success. It's about how we use our success to lift others up, to guide, to inspire, and to leave a lasting impact on the world. The more we align ourselves with the idea of service, the more we begin to experience the joy and fulfillment that comes with living in alignment with our purpose. It's not about waiting for a grand event to define our destiny, but about recognizing that every day we have opportunities to serve in ways that are meaningful to us and to those around us. Service gives us the chance to express our true selves in the world and to connect with others in a deep, authentic way. In this way, service and destiny are not separate. They are two sides of the same coin. When we embrace the role of a servant to our higher purpose, we are simultaneously stepping into our destiny, realizing that what we do for others is an expression of who we are at our deepest level. By making service a central part of our lives, we step into the flow of destiny and begin to live a life that is truly aligned with our highest potential. Chapter 11: Manifesting Destiny Through Action Vision. Without action is just a dream. Many of us are familiar with the concept of manifesting our desires, but we often forget that manifestation is not simply about thinking positively or wishing for something to appear. Manifesting destiny requires a combination of clarity, belief, and, most importantly, action. Without action, vision remains just a dream, beautiful, inspiring, but ultimately unattainable. The truth is, you can have the most vivid vision of your future, one that fills you with excitement and energy, but unless you take deliberate steps toward that vision, it will remain a distant fantasy. To turn your vision into reality, you must be willing to put in the work, face the challenges, and trust that your actions are part of a larger process that will lead you to your destiny. It's not enough to wish for change. You must also actively participate in the creation of that change. The disconnect between vision and action is one of the greatest barriers to living out your destiny. It's easy to be seduced by the allure of a beautiful dream, to be caught up in the excitement of possibility. But at some point, you must recognize that the universe works in partnership with you. It responds to the energy you put out, but it also expects you to take the necessary steps to align yourself with your vision. If you want to create a life that reflects your deepest desires, you must be willing to take responsibility for your actions and choices. Manifestation is not about waiting for things to magically appear. It's about aligning your actions with your desires, taking consistent steps toward your goals, and being open to the opportunities that arise along the way. Every action, no matter how small, is a step in the direction of your true calling. The more you act, the more momentum you build, and the closer you come to realizing your potential. When you take action, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready for change, that you are committed to the path ahead. This doesn't mean that the road will always be smooth, or that you won't encounter obstacles. In fact, challenges are a natural part of the journey and often serve as crucial stepping stones on the way to success. It's easy to become discouraged when things don't go according to plan or when the results of your actions aren't immediately visible. But persistence is key. Each step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your vision. The process of manifesting your destiny requires patience, faith, and an unwavering commitment to taking action, even when the path ahead is unclear. The more you engage with your vision through consistent action, the more tangible and real it becomes, and the closer you get to stepping into your true purpose. Aligning emotion, thought, and action manifestation is not just about taking physical action. It is also about aligning your emotions and thoughts with the reality you wish to create. It's easy to think that simply going through the motions will bring you closer to your goals. But without emotional and mental alignment, your efforts may feel hollow or ineffective. Emotion is the fuel that powers your actions. When you feel deeply connected to your vision, when you are emotionally invested in the process, you activate a powerful force that propels you forward. Similarly, your thoughts must be aligned with your desires. Negative or limiting beliefs can sabotage even the most well-intentioned actions, preventing you from achieving your full potential. Therefore, aligning your emotions, thoughts, and actions is essential for manifesting your destiny in a way that feels fulfilling and sustainable. The first step in aligning these three elements is to ensure that your emotions are in harmony with your vision. If you are pursuing something because you think you should, or because of external pressures, you are less likely to experience the passion and energy needed to fuel your journey. True alignment comes when you are emotionally connected to your goal, when it excites you and makes you feel alive. This emotional connection infuses your actions with power and purpose. It's this emotional energy that fuels you on the days when motivation seems scarce or when obstacles arise. When you are deeply emotionally connected to your vision, even challenges feel like opportunities for growth. Your heart, mind, and body work together in harmony, making it easier to stay focused and committed to your path. Equally important is aligning your thoughts with your actions. If you are constantly doubting your ability to succeed or focusing on fears and limitations, you are creating resistance in your mind that will manifest as obstacles in your reality. It is essential to shift your mindset from one of scarcity or limitation to one of abundance and possibility. The thoughts you think directly impact the reality you experience. Positive thoughts help to reinforce your belief in your ability to manifest your destiny, while negative thoughts can hold you back from taking inspired action. By practicing self-awareness and challenging limiting beliefs, you can train your mind to focus on solutions rather than problems, on opportunities rather than obstacles. As your thoughts begin to shift, your actions become more aligned with your true desires, and you begin to experience the flow of manifestation in a deeper and more meaningful way. Taking aligned action means that every step you take is a reflection of your emotional and mental state. When you are emotionally connected to your vision and mentally clear about your goals, your actions are infused with intention and purpose. Each step you take becomes an expression of your commitment to your higher purpose. Manifesting your destiny requires you to be fully present, both emotionally and mentally, as you move forward. This alignment creates a powerful momentum that propels you toward your true calling, making the process of manifestation not only effective, but deeply fulfilling. building momentum with micro-actions. In the process of manifesting destiny, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the magnitude of what we want to achieve. The gap between where we are and where we want to be can feel vast, and sometimes the road ahead appears daunting. This is where the power of micro-actions comes in. Rather than focusing solely on the big, transformative steps, micro-actions allow you to make consistent progress, no matter how small the action might seem. Micro-actions are tiny, manageable steps that help you build momentum and create a sense of forward motion. They can be as simple as sending an email, writing down an idea, or taking a small step toward a larger goal. These actions may seem insignificant in isolation, but over time, they compound, creating a snowball effect that propels you toward your larger vision. Micro-actions work because they bypass the resistance that often comes with tackling big goals. When we focus on taking small, tangible steps, we reduce the feeling of overwhelm and increase our likelihood of success. These actions are easy to start, easy to complete, and often take very little time or energy. But the power lies in the consistency with which we take them. Each small step you take is a victory in itself, and each victory builds your confidence and belief in your ability to manifest your destiny. Over time, these micro-actions accumulate into significant progress, and you begin to see the larger changes you desire taking shape before your eyes. The key to building momentum is not to wait for the perfect moment to act, but to take consistent, purposeful action every day. This approach creates a sense of progress, no matter how small the steps, and builds the momentum needed to overcome any obstacles. The beauty of micro-actions is that they create a feedback loop. Each small success reinforces the belief that you are capable, and this belief makes it easier to take the next step. In turn, the next step builds even more momentum. The more you take action, the more inspired you become, and the more connected you feel to your vision. Over time, these micro-actions create a powerful, unstoppable force that propels you toward your destiny. By breaking down your goals into smaller, manageable pieces, you can make consistent progress without feeling overwhelmed, and you begin to experience the power of manifestation in a very real, tangible way. This approach allows you to stay focused and committed, even when the journey feels long or challenging, and it gives you the confidence to trust that each action is bringing you closer to your true calling. Chapter 12: Mastering the Mind Game. Understanding the ego's tricks and traps. The ego is one of the most powerful forces influencing our decisions, shaping our lives, and ultimately determining the course of our destinies. It is often mistaken for our true selves, but in reality, the ego is a mask, a construct built from societal conditioning, past experiences, and external influences. The ego thrives on fear, insecurity, and the desire for validation. It constantly tries to protect us, but in doing so, it often keeps us stuck in patterns that are not aligned with our highest potential. One of the greatest challenges we face in our journey of awakening and manifesting our destiny is recognizing when the ego is running the show. The ego's tricks are subtle but powerful. Its whispers are often disguised as logic, rationality, or even common sense. It makes us question our worth, doubt our abilities, and shy away from taking risks. It convinces us that we are not enough or that the world is against us. Understanding the ego is the first step in overcoming its influence. The ego's primary strategy is to keep us small, safe, and comfortable, often at the expense of our growth. It resists change and is deeply afraid of stepping into the unknown, as this represents a loss of control. The ego seeks to preserve the status quo, holding on to old beliefs, patterns, and identities. This is why the ego can be so convincing, often masking fear as logic or security. When we face a situation that challenges us, that calls us to expand, the ego will fight to keep us in our comfort zone. it will present all sorts of reasons why we shouldn't take the leap, why we should play it safe, and why we should doubt our abilities. These thoughts are often so ingrained in our minds that we believe them to be true, not realizing that they are simply the ego's defense mechanisms. If we are to move forward on the path to our destiny, we must first recognize when the ego is speaking and learn how to distinguish its voice from the voice of our higher self. The ego will often tell us what we can't do, who we aren't, and why we shouldn't try. But our higher self speaks with clarity, courage, and an open heart, urging us to take bold action toward our dreams. Learning to recognize and disarm the ego's tricks is essential for personal growth and self-mastery. It's important to remember that the ego's role is not inherently negative. It's simply a part of us, an aspect of our consciousness that seeks to protect us. But when we allow the ego to take the reins, it can keep us trapped in a cycle of fear, self-doubt, and complacency. The key to mastering the mind game is not to eliminate the ego, but to understand it, observe it, and not let it dictate our actions. We must learn to question the limiting beliefs the ego presents and replace them with empowering thoughts and actions that align with our true desires. This shift in perspective is what allows us to rise above the ego's traps and step into the full expression of our true selves, cultivating a mindset of empowerment. One of the most transformative steps in manifesting our destiny is the cultivation of a mindset of empowerment. Your mindset shapes your reality. It influences how you approach challenges, view your potential, and interpret the world around you. A mindset of empowerment is rooted in self-belief, resilience, and the understanding that you are the creator of your life. When you have an empowered mindset, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. You embrace challenges as growth opportunities, and you are confident in your ability to navigate life's ups and downs. This mindset is not something that magically appears overnight. It is cultivated through consistent practice, self-reflection, and a deep commitment to growth. To cultivate a mindset of empowerment, you must begin by shifting your internal narrative from one of limitation to one of possibility. This involves recognizing the power of your thoughts and the influence they have on your experiences. The journey toward an empowered mindset starts with self-awareness. Begin by observing your thoughts and recognizing the stories you tell yourself. Are they empowering or limiting? Do you find yourself saying, "I can't do this," "I'm not good enough," or "this is too hard"? These thoughts are the remnants of the ego, and they are not a reflection of your true potential. By becoming aware of these limiting beliefs, you can begin to consciously shift them. Every time you catch yourself thinking a disempowering thought, replace it with one that aligns with your highest potential. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," try saying, "I am capable of overcoming this challenge." This simple shift in language creates a ripple effect in your mindset. As you continue to replace disempowering thoughts with empowering ones, you will begin to notice a shift in your attitude, your confidence, and your ability to take action. Over time, this shift becomes ingrained in your subconscious mind, and you begin to operate from a place of power rather than fear. Cultivating a mindset of empowerment is an ongoing process. It requires daily commitment to your growth, regular self-reflection, and an openness to learning from both successes and failures. But as you develop this mindset, you will begin to feel more capable, more confident, and more aligned with your true purpose. An empowered mindset is also one that embraces failure as part of the journey. The ego often associates failure with weakness or inadequacy, but in reality, failure is an essential part of growth. It is through our failures that we learn the most about ourselves, our strengths, and our areas for improvement. When you embrace failure as feedback rather than a setback, you open yourself to the possibility of transformation. With an empowered mindset, failure becomes an opportunity for growth, not a reason to give up. You learn to view challenges as stepping stones on your path to greatness, rather than roadblocks that prevent you from moving forward. This shift in perspective is one of the most powerful tools you can use to manifest your destiny, as it allows you to move forward with confidence, resilience, and a deep sense of trust in your ability to navigate whatever comes your way. Tools for daily mental mastery. Mental mastery is a skill that can be cultivated through consistent practice and the use of specific tools designed to help you stay focused, calm, and aligned with your highest purpose. In the process of manifesting your destiny, it's essential to have a daily routine that helps you maintain mental clarity, emotional balance, and a sense of inner peace. The mind is constantly being bombarded with distractions, negative influences, and limiting beliefs, so it's important to have tools in place to help you stay grounded and focused on your goals. These tools can be simple practices such as mindfulness, meditation, journaling, or affirmations that help you center yourself and maintain a positive, empowered mindset. One of the most powerful tools for mental mastery is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. When you practice mindfulness, you become aware of your thoughts, emotions, and sensations in a non-reactive way. This awareness allows you to observe your thoughts without becoming overwhelmed by them or allowing them to control your actions. Mindfulness helps you become more conscious of your mental patterns, allowing you to catch negative thoughts or limiting beliefs before they can take root. It also helps you stay focused on the present moment, rather than worrying about the past or future. By incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine, you can create a sense of calm and clarity that will serve you well as you navigate the challenges of manifesting your destiny. Another powerful tool for mental mastery is meditation. Meditation helps to quiet the mind, reduce stress, and increase self-awareness. By taking time each day to meditate, you can train your mind to become more focused, calm, and centered. Meditation allows you to disconnect from the noise and distractions of daily life and reconnect with your inner self. It's a time for you to reflect on your desires, visualize your goals, and reaffirm your commitment to your destiny. Whether you practice mindfulness meditation, guided meditation, or simply sit in silence, the benefits of meditation are profound. It helps you cultivate a deep sense of peace, inner strength, and clarity that will support you on your journey. Journaling is another powerful tool for mental mastery. Writing down your thoughts, feelings, and insights helps you process emotions, reflect on your experiences, and gain clarity on your goals. Journaling allows you to track your progress, celebrate your victories, and learn from your challenges. It is a powerful tool for self-reflection, helping you to stay connected to your inner wisdom and maintain focus on your true purpose. By making journaling a regular part of your daily routine, you can gain deeper insight into your thoughts, beliefs, and desires, and use this knowledge to make more conscious, empowered decisions. When you combine mindfulness, meditation, and journaling, you create a powerful foundation for mental mastery that will support you in manifesting your destiny. Chapter 13. Creating your Circle of Destiny. Why your environment shapes your reality. The environment you choose to surround yourself with plays a pivotal role in shaping your reality and influencing your ability to manifest your destiny. People often underestimate the immense power of their surroundings, not just in terms of physical space, but also the individuals they interact with, the energies they absorb, and the cultural or social influences they allow into their lives. Your environment is a reflection of your inner world. It is a mirror that both reflects and shapes who you are. Just as a plant requires the right soil, water, and sunlight to thrive, you too need a nurturing environment that supports your growth and expansion. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, criticism, or limiting beliefs, it will be difficult for you to manifest your highest potential. On the other hand, when you intentionally curate a positive, empowering environment, you make it easier for yourself to step into your power and align with your purpose. One of the most significant aspects of your environment is the people you spend time with. The energy of those around you has a profound effect on your thoughts, emotions, and overall mindset. If you are surrounded by individuals who are constantly in a state of fear, doubt, or negativity, their energy will subtly influence yours. It is important to recognize when relationships or environments are draining your energy, keeping you stuck, or reinforcing limiting beliefs. Conversely, being around people who inspire, challenge, and uplift you can catalyze your growth and inspire you to reach new heights. Your circle of influence, whether it's friends, family, or colleagues, has a direct impact on how you see the world and how you see yourself. People who believe in you, support your dreams, and encourage your growth create an energetic ecosystem in which your potential can flourish. This environment helps you remain aligned with your purpose, offering the space for you to explore new ideas, take risks, and move beyond your comfort zone. Additionally, the physical space you occupy also plays a crucial role in your ability to manifest your destiny. The energy of a cluttered, chaotic environment can drain your mental and emotional resources, making it more difficult to stay focused on your goals. A cluttered space often mirrors a cluttered mind, and this can create feelings of overwhelm, confusion, and stagnation. On the other hand, when you intentionally design your environment to be clean, organized, and aesthetically pleasing, you create a sense of calm and clarity that supports mental and emotional well-being. This includes everything from the organization of your physical space to the colors, sounds, and energies that fill it. Surrounding yourself with beauty, inspiration, and positive energy can enhance your creativity, focus, and productivity, allowing you to work more effectively toward your goals. Your environment should reflect who you are becoming, not just who you are right now. It should be a place that nurtures your growth, inspires your creativity, and aligns with your values and vision. Creating your circle of destiny also involves curating the information you allow into your mind. The media, books, podcasts, and other forms of content that you consume have a profound impact on your thoughts, beliefs, and worldview. If you feed your mind with negativity, fear-based narratives, or limiting ideas, you will internalize those messages, which can influence your decisions and actions. Instead, make a conscious choice to consume content that supports your growth, uplifts your spirit, and aligns with your goals. Seek out books, videos, and resources that challenge you to think differently, expand your consciousness, and inspire you to take action. When you curate your environment in this way, you create a powerful ecosystem that supports your journey of self-discovery and manifestation, making it easier to stay aligned with your true purpose. Attracting allies, mentors, and mirrors. One of the most powerful ways to elevate your journey and accelerate your growth is to surround yourself with allies, mentors, and mirrors, individuals who support, challenge, and reflect back to you the truths you may not yet see within yourself. These people are not just friends or acquaintances, but intentional companions on your path to self-actualization. Allies are those who believe in your vision, support your aspirations, and stand by you through thick and thin. They are the people who cheer you on, offer encouragement when you feel discouraged, and remind you of your potential when you forget. Allies are crucial because they provide a sense of community and belonging, offering emotional and psychological support when the journey feels tough. Having a circle of like-minded allies creates a sense of camaraderie and reinforces your belief that you are not alone on this path. Mentors, on the other hand, are individuals who have walked a similar path and have accumulated wisdom, experience, and insights that can guide you on your journey. A mentor can provide invaluable advice, perspective, and guidance when you encounter challenges or need to make important decisions. They are the ones who help you see the bigger picture, offering advice based on their own experiences and mistakes. Mentors can also hold you accountable, helping you stay focused on your goals and pushing you to go further than you thought possible. They offer guidance not from a place of superiority, but from a place of wisdom and experience, helping you navigate your path with greater clarity and confidence. Mirrors, perhaps the most profound of all, are the individuals who reflect back to you your own potential, your shadows, and your blind spots. These are the people who hold up a mirror to your own soul, challenging you to confront aspects of yourself that you may not want to face. Mirrors are the people who, through their actions or words, reveal the parts of you that need healing, growth, or transformation. They may show you where you are playing small, where you are holding back, or where you are self-sabotaging. At first, you may resist their reflections, but over time, you come to realize that these people are serving as powerful catalysts for your growth. By embracing the reflections they offer, you gain greater self-awareness, which allows you to step more fully into your authentic self. In this way, allies, mentors, and mirrors all play integral roles in your journey, helping you to expand, evolve, and embody your true potential. The key to attracting these individuals into your life lies in being intentional about your relationships. Begin by being clear about the kind of people you want to surround yourself with. Identify the qualities you seek in allies, mentors, and mirrors, and then take steps to attract them into your life. This may involve reaching out to potential mentors, joining communities of like-minded individuals, or simply being open to the relationships that come your way. Remember, the people you attract into your life are a reflection of the energy you project. If you want to attract allies who support and uplift you, you must first be that ally for others. If you want to attract mentors, you must be willing to learn and grow, remaining open to feedback and guidance. The relationships you cultivate along your journey will not only help you manifest your destiny, but they will also serve as a source of strength, wisdom, and inspiration as you navigate the challenges of life. Navigating toxic relationships. Gracefully, as much as it is important to surround yourself with empowering relationships, it is equally important to recognize and navigate toxic relationships with grace and wisdom. Toxic relationships are those that drain your energy, undermine your confidence, and pull you away from your purpose. These relationships can come in many forms: family members who criticize you, friends who hold you back, or colleagues who are overly negative. Toxic relationships often perpetuate cycles of emotional manipulation, guilt, and shame, leaving you feeling exhausted and disconnected from your true self. One of the most challenging aspects of navigating toxic relationships is recognizing them in the first place. When you are emotionally entangled with someone, it can be difficult to see the toxicity for what it is. The first step in dealing with toxic relationships is to develop the ability to recognize when someone's behavior is negatively impacting your well-being. Pay attention to how you feel after interactions with certain individuals. Do you feel drained, anxious, or disempowered? Are you constantly doubting yourself or feeling like you are not enough around them? These are signs that a relationship may be toxic. Once you've identified a toxic relationship, it is essential to set clear boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are guidelines that help you protect your emotional, mental, and spiritual energy. Setting boundaries may involve limiting your time with certain individuals, being honest about your feelings, or simply choosing to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love and self-respect. It is a way of telling yourself that your well-being matters and that you are no longer willing to tolerate relationships that diminish your energy or self-worth. It's important to remember that setting boundaries does not mean you are being rude or unkind. It means that you are honoring your needs and choosing to prioritize your own growth and happiness. In some cases, navigating toxic relationships may require you to make difficult decisions, such as ending the relationship altogether. This can be an emotional and challenging process, but it is ultimately an act of liberation. Freeing yourself from toxic relationships opens up space for healthier, more empowering connections to enter your life. It is also important to remember that not all toxic relationships can be avoided or completely severed, especially when they involve family or colleagues. In these cases, the focus should be on managing your energy and emotional responses. You may not be able to change the other person's behavior, but you can control how you respond. Practice emotional detachment by not allowing the other person's words or actions to trigger you. Develop a mindset of compassion and understanding, recognizing that toxic behaviors often stem from the other person's pain or unresolved issues. By choosing not to react emotionally, you regain control of the situation and protect your peace. With time, patience, and practice, you can navigate toxic relationships gracefully without allowing them to derail your journey of self-discovery and destiny. Chapter 14. Living as your highest self, what it means to embody destiny. Daily living as your highest self is a continuous process of alignment with your inner truth, purpose, and vision. It is about stepping into the person you are meant to be, not just in moments of clarity or success, but every single day. To embody your highest self is to live with a sense of authenticity, passion, and commitment to your values, no matter the external circumstances. It means recognizing that your true self is already whole and complete, and that your life's journey is about unearthing and expressing the fullness of who you are. This is not a destination, but a way of being, and it begins with daily choices. Every thought, action, and decision becomes an opportunity to reinforce the person you are becoming. Whether it's showing up with love in your relationships, integrity in your work, or courage in your personal growth, the embodiment of your highest self is rooted in consistency and authenticity. At the core of this embodiment is self-awareness, the ability to recognize your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and to consciously choose how you respond to the world around you. When you live from this place of awareness, you are no longer a passive observer of your life, but an active participant, co-creating your reality with intention. You begin to realize that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of your experience. Your thoughts and beliefs shape your reality, and by aligning them with your highest vision, you can live with purpose and meaning. Embodying your highest self requires a willingness to confront the parts of you that have been hidden or suppressed, whether it's unhealed wounds, limiting beliefs, or societal conditioning. These layers may have created a version of you that is disconnected from your true essence, and it is only through the process of self-discovery and healing that you can shed these layers and step fully into your authentic power. One of the most powerful ways to embody your highest self is through self-love and self-compassion. You must be willing to embrace yourself fully, flaws and all, and to treat yourself with the kindness and respect that you deserve. This means letting go of self-judgment and perfectionism, understanding that growth is a process, not an end point. It involves forgiving yourself for past mistakes, accepting where you are right now, and trusting that you are always evolving. As you embrace self-love, you create the foundation for personal transformation. When you are at peace with yourself, you radiate that energy into the world, attracting positive experiences and people who align with your highest vibration. Embodying your highest self also requires you to take courageous actions in the face of fear and uncertainty. Often, the path to your true destiny requires you to step out of your comfort zone and take risks. Whether it's pursuing a new career, speaking your truth, or setting healthy boundaries, living authentically means facing the challenges that come with growth and change. The more you align with your highest self, the more you realize that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. Living as your highest self is a powerful choice, one that has a ripple effect on every area of your life. It transforms your relationships, your career, and your sense of purpose. When you show up as the fullest expression of who you are, you inspire others to do the same. This creates a collective energy of growth and empowerment where everyone is encouraged to step into their authentic power. The journey is not always easy, but it is always worth it. To live as your highest self is to honor your unique soul's blueprint and to trust that you are exactly where you need to be in the moment. Every step you take toward embodying your highest self brings you closer to the person you were always meant to become. Staying aligned. Through life's seasons, life is a constant ebb and flow of change. Just as nature moves through cycles of growth, decay, and renewal, we too experience different seasons in our lives, some of expansion, others of contraction. These seasons can feel disorienting at times, especially when we are facing challenges or going through transitions. However, staying aligned with your highest self through these seasons is not about avoiding change or trying to maintain a constant state of growth. Instead, it's about learning how to navigate these shifts with grace, trusting that each season has something valuable to offer. Staying aligned through life's seasons requires you to embrace both the highs and the lows, the moments of clarity and confusion, and to understand that each phase is an integral part of your journey. Each season provides you with the tools, wisdom, and experiences you need to step more fully into your purpose. During the seasons of growth, when everything feels aligned and you are moving toward your goals with ease, it's important to celebrate your progress and acknowledge how far you've come. These are the moments when you feel energized, inspired, and connected to your true purpose. But even during these times, it's essential to stay grounded and mindful, as success and achievement can sometimes cause distractions or even lead to complacency. When things are going well, you must remember to keep expanding, stay open to new opportunities, and remain humble in your journey. Celebrate the victories, but never lose sight of the bigger picture, the purpose that is calling you. On the other hand, when you go through seasons of contraction, moments when you feel uncertain, disconnected, or like you are facing setbacks, it's easy to feel like you are off course. It's easy to fall into doubt, fear, or frustration. However, these are often the most important seasons for personal growth. It is in these moments of struggle that you are given the opportunity to go within, to reevaluate your beliefs, and to strengthen your resolve. Contraction is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are being invited to go deeper, to heal old wounds, and to refine your purpose. Staying aligned through these seasons requires patience and trust, knowing that just as the earth regenerates itself through the winter, so too are you being prepared for new growth. It's during these seasons that the foundation for your next phase of expansion is laid. Each season of life brings with it unique challenges, but it is through embracing these challenges that you become more resilient and adaptable. Staying aligned through life's seasons means you are committed to your purpose regardless of the circumstances. Whether in moments of abundance or lack, joy or sorrow, you maintain your connection to your soul's blueprint and continue to move forward with integrity. You trust that every season serves a higher purpose and that ultimately, all of life's experiences are part of your unfolding destiny. Becoming a beacon, leading by example. To live as your highest self is to embody leadership, not necessarily in the traditional sense of power or authority, but in the way you show up in the world and inspire others to do the same. Your life becomes a beacon, radiating light and energy that guides others toward their own truths and destinies. Leadership is not about being perfect. It is about being authentic and vulnerable, showing others that it is possible to walk the path of growth, healing, and self-expression. As you become a beacon of your highest self, you create a ripple effect that encourages those around you to awaken to their own power and purpose. Your actions, your words, and the energy you embody serve as a living example of what it means to live in alignment with one's true self. Leading by example begins with self-awareness and accountability. It requires you to take ownership of your choices and behaviors and to recognize that everything you do impacts the world around you. Whether you are a parent, a colleague, a friend, or a mentor, the way you carry yourself has a profound influence on others. When you lead with integrity, kindness, and authenticity, you set the tone for those around you to do the same. People are drawn to those who live with purpose, who act with conviction, and who align their actions with their values. Your example becomes a source of inspiration for others to step into their own power and live authentically. Becoming a beacon also means embracing the responsibility that comes with your leadership. You are a role model whether you realize it or not, and the choices you make impact not only your life, but also the lives of those who look up to you. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but it does mean that you must be conscious of the energy you are putting into the world. When you make choices from a place of love, integrity, and authenticity, you inspire others to do the same. Your leadership comes not from a place of hierarchy, but from a place of service. Leading by example is about showing others that living in alignment with their true self is possible and worth striving for. Becoming a beacon means that you embrace your unique path, regardless of whether it conforms to society's expectations. You stand tall in your authenticity, knowing that your example has the power to light the way for others. By living as your highest self, you not only create a fulfilling life for yourself, but also contribute to the collective awakening of humanity. As you lead by example, you inspire others to do the same, and together, you create a world where more people are living in alignment with their true potential and purpose. This is the power of becoming a beacon, a force of light that guides others toward their own journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and transformation.